described Suleiman Sawane as a man who really has the country at heart. The Gambian chorus star mentioned that he uses his musical influence to engage people like Sawane in national development issues.
When I go to Europe, I don't stop at entertaining them. Sometimes I take a whole 30 minutes talking to everybody there. That we are in the Gambia, we think of you and you are our only support. So you should not neglect us, you should not forget about us. Think of projects or the projects we have already that are implemented, that are in place. Join us and then you do your quota.
Suleiman's philanthropic move, which was highly appreciated by the beneficiaries, was nothing special to him. He believes it is a common duty for every Gambian to contribute to the development of this country.
All Gambians, outside and inside, to be together, to be one. And don't say that is small, never be too small. Whatever you can do for your country, you do it. Everything I'm doing here is not from charity from the white people. The small I have, I work hard and do it. And there are many, many Gambians out there and here, they can do the same. But we have to be together and be one, because if we are together and we are one, we can do everything.
While many at the occasion urged Suleiman to continue his appreciated initiative, the fact that appeals were broadened for Gambians in the country and the diaspora to emulate or embark on such gestures is anticipated. Modou Badiane, Grts News.
NEDI was constituted other things, select women and youth across the country, train them in the areas of business management and facilitate their engagement in merchandise activities, create job opportunities for women and youth in the informal sector, and also assist them access investment opportunities. But the established livelihood changing scheme didn't live up to the expectations of lawmakers. One big reason responsible for this is the persistent gross financial indiscipline in the institution. The Public Accounts and Public Enterprises Committee of the National Assembly weren't quite pleased with the institution when its leadership forwarded its 2009 to 2012 audited activity reports and financial statements for scrutiny and adoption.
At the very onset, I think what is partly responsible for this, if I may put it, the numerous financial indiscipline is the lack of the establishment of a legal framework for the necessary checks and balances. I have not seen it anywhere.
Before I go into the accounts proper, I would want them to just to put the record straight. First thing is on the front page, as the cover page is wrong, it's misleading from 2009 to 2014, that has to be changed. On page 1, you have stated that you have also the financial statement and report for the year end for 2012, which is not part of this document. Those things have to be adjusted. Honorable Chair, I think this committee should also mention that all these years we are considering today are all qualified.
Though the lawmakers blame successive leaderships of NEDI for the financial mismanagement, deputies were quick to exonerate NEDI's new executive, but as current leaders, they were reminded that responsibility for the overall performance and viability rests squarely on their shoulders.
In a nutshell, I want to sympathize with yourself and your ministry, because the ministry that you work for is one of the most difficult to work and head. Recognizing that the 8 bracket of society that you work with are not easy people to deal with.
The situation in NEDI includes disbursement of loans without collateral, poor loan recovery systems, and money meant for vendors given to staff of the Youth and Sports Ministry as loans. And NEDI is also blamed for being only 25% compliant with the Gambia Public Procurement Authority rules. The Public Accounts and Public Enterprises Committee could not only consider the institution's activity reports and financial statements, but also sought advice from subject matter specialists and external auditors on the way forward.
I would want to think that this body has the duty and the responsibility to commission a further probe to establish reasonably well the extent to which that sort of damage has occurred. Thereafter, of course, it will be in a stronger position to make recommendations to the executive to address those problems. But the evidence, as indicated by Honorable Jama, is very serious. And I do not think we will be doing justice to our mandate or our remit by just brushing it aside and moving on. We really need to look into that, and I would suggest or recommend to this body that maybe we defer adoption of the accounts subject to further investigations, which will, the time of which probably will be determined by this body.
It's complicated, and I do not think that this committee could be able to arrive at a very, very objective decision unless we follow what Honorable Juf had recommended, namely to set up a task force to investigate as to what has happened and to bring the report back to this committee, all right, so that we can take a very, very, very objective decision on this thing here. I think you will be doing something else. You cannot, in fact, take a decision on this thing here, because for me, it's all crazy. I mean, it's all complicated, you know, and we need to clarify these things here before we can show our people that we have taken a responsible decision.
Deputies therefore moved swiftly to set up a task force comprising lawmakers, net executive members, and headed by the Office of the Auditor General, who have been mandated to recover debts from defaulters. This radical step, as it may seem, deputies believe, is one of many ways to save the National Enterprise Development Initiative from bankruptcy. Mamadou Diallo, GRTS.
We apologize for the low sound quality at the introduction of that report. The Mandela moment has gripped Ukraine as the country welcomes the former prime minister from prison, and wealthy right-wing Venezuelans are being blamed for instigating trouble in the country. We'll be back with new other stories right after the short break. Welcome back. It used to be a big force in Ivorian party politics. However, the fall of former President Laurent Gbagbo had an adverse effect on the party's active participation in mainstream politics. The FPI was in total disarray. Now there is a new dawn. As we hear in this report, the Ivorian Popular Front has already announced that it will challenge President Alassane Ouattara in next year's polls.
Some 2,500 people were singing the same song, Free Laurent Gbagbo. For 2 days, the Ivorian Popular Front Party, or FPI, held its convention in the shadow of its former president. The countdown is now for the presidential election of 2015. After boycotting parliamentary, regional, and municipal elections, the party is now ready.
We have come to show that we are ready to be a strong party again, to show our strength. And we have very precise political goals.
The tone is being set. 3 years after the crisis in Côte d'Ivoire, the Ivorian Popular Front wants to be back on top, back at the forefront of the political scene. To flex its muscles on the ground, it has held a series of rallies. The latest was Sunday in its stronghold of Yopougon.
We're very happy today, because today we want to see the FPI back on the political stage. The FPI is not dead. The FPI is the biggest party in Côte d'Ivoire. They tried to shut it down.